Okay, I've put it off long enough. We need to talk about these alleged ROG Xbox Ally X prices because they're astronomical. Now, if you haven't heard yet, Dextera was saying, according to leaks, the ROG Xbox Ally will be priced at $700, where the ROG Xbox Ally X is expected to retail for $1,050. Look, I was already saying maybe you should consider a PC instead of a PlayStation 5 Pro due to that slight price disparity that would just put you right at that point where, maybe you should consider a PC upgrade. I have a PlayStation 5 Pro. It is great. Understand why console users want to buy it. This thing just says we we just think you have all the money in the world. You'll buy this for $1,000, right? But let's talk about some of the nuance here. So, if you already saw a sneak peek, you can clearly see that this has already been community noted. Leaked prices of $5.99 and £8.99 are most likely VAT inclusive in accordance with the EU price indication directive and therefore should not be converted directly. So, hearing that, I'm like, okay, so prices aren't going to be, they're not going to be like one to one prices. What does the current ROG Ally cost? So I go over to Best Buy. Looks like it's $649.99 and $899.99. So that base model, you're only looking at about a $50 increase in this price. So I imagine that whatever this costs currently, the $649.99, is probably going to be where the lower tier model ends up landing at, and the 1050, maybe we do end up getting that $899.99 price after all. Time will tell. We'll see what Microsoft. I don't even know what Microsoft is doing anymore. Maybe they will go for the $1,000 price point. I could see it happening. However, a lot of people have been reacting to this and talking about it. Jez Corden over at Windows Central said the Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X prices may have leaked, and if true, it's not as bad as I thought. Microsoft and Asus are gearing up to launch the Xbox Ally PC gaming handle later this year, and the biggest questions remain fixed on price. Do we have our first answer? So, there have already been some rumors about its price ranging from around anywhere between $800 to over $1,000. A new report from 3D Wagos via IG may have given us the first glance leaked by Asus itself, and honestly, it's not as bad as I was expecting. Although these prices may still be placeholders or some weird quirk of Google's new AI enhanced search algorithms, Google's search store metadata scraped from the Asus website seemingly suggests that the Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X will closely match their predecessor's price, at least in Europe. And those prices were $8.99 and $5.99. And then he compares also in UK dollars, money I don't know anything about. That's $8.99, which is the current Ally X price, and that matches up actually with the new price. So he's actually citing something completely different. This is from 3D Wagos, and they're saying that that's what the price is going to be. And then, that post from Dextero is citing uh, this article to Windows Central. Long story short, people don't seem as surprised by these prices if you're sort of familiar with how much these things already cost, right? But that doesn't stop people from having a justifiably surprised reaction. Frida said handhelds that at that price defeats the whole purpose. Once you reach the $1,000 mark, you're better off laptop shopping. And honestly, I agree with him. I do think that if you don't have any interest in the mobile market, then maybe you should consider a PC for a device like this, especially if you're mostly just doing your gaming at home and you don't have a ton of interest in doing gaming on the go. I do think it is reasonable to say, hey, maybe you should consider just biting the bullet and actually building a PC for a change. I will always advocate for that. But don't forget, you can dock these to the device that makes them more powerful. Basically, you can dock these to a higher power GPU, and then you can dock that to your television. So it does have some advantages, but that doesn't stop people from pointing out that for that price, you can just own a pre-build. Yeah, you can just buy a $999 pre-build as an option here. And again, I actually think the commenters are making a good point, and that is a challenge that Microsoft is going to have to figure out. How do we convince people that this is worth $1,000? Because after taxes, we all know it's going to be $1,000. It's more expensive than the PlayStation 5 Pro already. So that is a little crazy. What is going on here? There's like a little gnat flying around in here. PS5 Pro better. It keeps telling me the PlayStation 5 Pro is better. What's it doing? Anyway, DJ Durana says, if this is true, then who exactly is Xbox targeting in the gaming market? Stupid pricing altogether now for gaming. So much for this gaming is for everyone. Eye roll up, frowny emoji. And yeah, so the overall sentiment is pretty negative on it. My personal take is, I don't know if I would buy it at that price point. Maybe the lower tier one I would consider, but you have a lot of other things on the market, like the Steam Deck. This user pointed up, DOA if true, this is already competing with mainstays like the Steam Deck. Steam Deck costs around $500, which can play Xbox games too, thanks to them being on Steam, especially if you're not already married to the Xbox ecosystem. This will be a pass for most. Now, sure, it'll be a pass for most, but we already have this other model, the ROG Ally and the ROG Ally X, that is obviously sold well enough for ROG to want to continue making this hardware. So I don't think they're targeting like 10 million in sales. This handheld is clearly targeting a niche market. They're not hoping for huge sales. Well, obviously they're hoping for huge sales margins, but I think their expectations are likely in check, especially when we have some understanding of how well the Steam Deck sold and how well these other handheld devices sold, like the Lenovo Legion Go. I don't think they're going to expect to sell, I don't know what, like 10 million units of these things. They're probably targeting like 2 million, maybe even 1 million sold. And I think they're just sort of testing the waters more with the OS ecosystem than anything. So that's sort of my read on it. This user said, you might as well get a PC crowd. It's getting screamed at by the, it is a PC crowd. Yeah. So I think he's talking about how basically this is a PC. You can plug it into your television and use it exactly like a PC. So I think that is really the selling point of this device. Basically, you are buying this because you want gaming on the go and you don't have a PC, and this is your PC solution. So I think that's the selling pitch that they will try and get you to buy in on. And then whether that's attractive or not to you, I mean, that's kind of up to you, honestly. Like, I have a PC. I would be buying this for gaming on the go, and there are other things on the market like the Steam Deck. I can go get a $399 LCD Steam Deck with 256 gigabytes of memory right now versus the base version of this for $649. And I think you can get refurbs still of the Steam Deck for like even cheaper than that. If you scroll down on the website, no, I don't see any listed currently. But yeah, I have seen them even lower than that $339 price because yeah, you can get certified refurbished, and then like you're getting the better version sometimes when they're in stock for even less than that $399 price tag, which kind of blows this whole thing out of the water. And we all know the Steam Deck is great. Yeah, so long and the short of it is the pricing is about what everybody expected, but I think the reaction to the price is also warranted. I don't think it's too outlandish to be critical of the idea that you're going to spend $1,000 on a handheld, even $900 on a handheld. At its base price, it is priced, the best version of the handheld is priced better than a PlayStation 5 Pro, and I do think that's going to be a hard sell. The one attractive thing is that it will have all games in one place. It can act as a PC. So it is that form factor that a lot of people have saying wouldn't happen. Well, they kind of created it. It's the same idea as a Switch. You dock it and then you can play it on your TV. You dock this thing and you can play it on your TV, but you will also have the option of using it exactly like any other PC on the market. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this because I actually kind of understand everybody's take on it. I get the people who are excited about it and why they think it's a cool piece of technology. I kind of understand like taking down all the barriers and everything is intriguing. I understand the people that think it's too expensive. And I want to hear your perspective because I don't have a super hot take on this one. I think everybody is making pretty good points about why they would like it or why they wouldn't. So let me know what you think in the comments below and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, turn on my content goes live. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a keen eye, you would know that yes, I did wear this shirt in another video, but that's it's the shirt I wear after I take the kids swimming. So yeah, Chris Freddy, Phil Aroni, Spin Getter, and Aries EMS, thank you so much for watching. If you want to become a member, you can click that join button right down there or support at patreon.com/SaveStatePlus. I'm going to get out of here, but check out this video where AI took a bunch of people's jobs. So Microsoft had people write AI and then that AI took their jobs. So kind of a crazy story. I'm going to get out of here and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.